So my screen is visible to you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So let's continue our discussion that we are already discussed the random variables, random process, and characteristics of random process. And already we mentioned that random variables and random process are the need of the random variables and random process in communication and signal system, and some small problem related to that already I discussed. Now today I discuss the classification of random process. The different type of random process are there. Physically, there are so many examples. Okay. Suppose you are taken a temperature variation of a whole day. So time to time it will change, and that temperature doesn't actually depends on a particular time instant. It is a function of time, but it is not like that. It is a fixed with the time. That means if you take a whole day temperature variation, then it will not fixed day by day. Suppose Monday there is another variation, Tuesday there will be another variation, and in this way the thing is going on. In some cases, the noise of a communication system, this noise obviously depends on a particular device or particular system, or time to time it will vary. So, but the nature of noise or the nature of temperature in a physical phenomena, it is not exactly the same. So all are random process. It's a random variable based collection of uh, data, but these data are not exactly same in nature. So in that case, this classification is important to know about the nature of the random process. So many different types of random process are there in our signal system. We are interested about the uh, different types of random process. Some random process are stationary. Stationary means it is a fixed with time, and the time change will not affect over the process. As already in your earlier course, you see that the normal signal, whenever it's a time varying signal, you are dealing with a time varying signal, then the information related to say 0th time and some advanced level of time and the previous level of time, some system is causal and some system is non-causal, that future dependence are there or not, so many issues are there, and everything is a for the deterministic type of signal, and we are actually discussing about the non-deterministic signal, that is a type of random variable, and then the collection of random variable, that is a random process. And we already discussed the characteristics the last day. This is our discussion that the characteristics of variables, that some kind of a representation of a random process of a channel noise, particularly channel noise with respect to time. So that will be a variable, and obviously it will not depends on a different time instant. Okay? That is a one kind of random process, and finally we got the relation that the probability density function is a collection of time information, and from cumulative distribution function, and then the probability distribution function of a random process, and final relation will come out. Okay, this is the mean of a random process, can be written like x into probability of that function. It is a first order probability density function. So up to this we discuss, and then the next part is a already I just give some uh, basic information that whenever we are dealing with any kind of system, then autocorrelation and cross correlation, these two processes are very important. In case of deterministic signal, we already know about time delay and time advance. That means a signal after some futuristic time, then it is called suppose and along the x positive x-axis, that is the time advance and time delayed, suppose before the time. So x of t minus tau and x of t plus tau. This type of information already you have the knowledge, the advanced and delayed time. And cross correlation means if two signal is parallelly going on, and then you are going to get some information between these two signal, then the cross correlation, that how these two signal behaves with respect to time frame, then this is called cross correlation function. And in some application, a single signal, not a two or three more than one signal is going on, a single signal is going on. In that case, we are interested about the autocorrelation function. An autocorrelation function is the same signal, its characteristics or its relation or its behavior with respect to same signal with some advance or delayed time frame. That means how a signal behaves with respect to its own delayed uh, time input signal. So that is called autocorrelation function. Similar thing is going on in the random process, that some kind of analysis with the signal or characteristics of a random process with respect to autocorrelation process. And it is one of the most important statistical information for a random process and autocorrelation. The
Sir,
name suggests
sir, what do you mean by with respect to?
with respect to means what?
You are telling autocorrelation is how the signal behaves with respect to itself. So,
Okay, so that means suppose a signal is a signal its own characteristics. That means if you take a sine of omega t, it's a sinusoidal signal, and sine of omega t plus tau. That means with respect to advancement of time. So the same signal with respect to its own delayed or advanced type of signal. That with respect to means signal with its own characteristics based on its advance or the delayed information based on the time, obviously. So with respect to of the same signal of advanced level or the delayed level. Got it? Or you still have a
okay,
doubt?
sir. Thank you.
Or may I repeat it?
Yes, sir.
Cross correlation means what? Suppose x1 is a signal and x2 another signal. Both depends on time. So how their amplitude or how their signal characteristics will vary, that is called cross correlation. Two are different signal. But autocorrelation is the same single signal. Its characteristics how relate with its own characteristics, but a delayed or advanced level of signal. That means a sine omega t, another one is a sine omega t plus tau. The relation between these two. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Suppose if you see here the example, then it will be more clear to you that there will be graphical presentation. One signal is xt, another signal is yt. Can anybody tell me that the difference between these two signals? Xt and yt both are time varying signal. Along x-axis time is varying and along y-axis amplitude is varying. So xt and yt are different nature of signal, but at a glance, if you see these two type of signal, can anyone tell me that the difference between these two signal? Anyone?
Sir, YT is changing more with respect to time.
Right. It's a very
The
fast
disturbance,
signal. Rapid variation, right? Very fast variation. YT, right?
Yes, sir, YT is changing very fast with
And
respect
xt
to
is very
positive or
slow,
negative value.
right? So xt is a very slow signal and yt is a very fast signal, right? So this information comes from the graphical presentation of these two signals. One is slow, another one is a fast. That information comes. Both are randomly varying signal. the amplitude is very fast changing, and randomly it will take the different value. Okay. So if I am going to get some information or the relation among these two signals separately, then this idea tell us the cross correlation between two signals. But if I am getting the information of a single xt signal or yt signal separately, then their information with respect to some delayed or advance with respect to same time frame, if I am going to get the relation between xt with respect to same xt but delayed or advanced type of signal, then it is called autocorrelation. And cross correlation means if I am going to calculate the relation between these two signals, then that is called cross correlation. Roughly this type of autocorrelation and cross correlation tells us. But another thing, this is a time information. Okay. Another information which is very, very important in communication and signal system, there is a spectral information. That means how a time varying signal, it is a time varying signal, as the along x-axis time is varying, along y-axis amplitude is varying, and xt and yt represent here the amplitude variation. But this information give us only the amplitude variation. Another one is the frequency. As already you answered me that the first signal is slow and second signal is fast. Slow and fast tells us the frequency, and amplitude means how its maximum value or minimum value goes along the y direction. So amplitude information and frequency information can easily be estimated from this time varying signal. But the most important information, that is bandwidth, is not coming from this particular time varying signal. So that information we are collecting from the frequency domain analysis, and that is called spectral analysis. So we need to change from time domain to frequency domain. Already you read the Fourier transform and Fourier series for frequency domain information by Ankita ma'am. Already it is started or not?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm just giving you the basic definition that if somebody wants to get a frequency domain information, that is called spectral information, that how a amplitude will vary with respect to frequency. The along x-axis frequency and along y-axis amplitude variations. Time domain information means along x-axis time, along y-axis amplitude. X of t. X of omega or x of f suggests us the frequency domain information. That how a signal vary with respect to frequency variation. Because the bandwidth is one of the most important parameter, as you know, the range of frequency where the signal properly transmitted. That is called bandwidth. And this bandwidth information, amplitude bandwidth information, comes only from the frequency domain analysis. And Fourier transform is a one kind of tool, mathematical tool, by which we can convert time domain information to frequency domain information. So that is a different story. I will come later. But spectral content means the process which is rapidly or slowly vary with time. That is with respect to time. But if somebody wants to get with respect to frequency, then the spectral information normally or roughly we can call it. Now, from the figure, it is very easy to understand that the relation in between these two information, that if you see the xt amplitude at t1 and t1 plus tau, that is t1 and t1 plus tau, the xt same signal, here the amplitude and there the amplitude. So then you can see the amplitude variation as two, a strong one is stronger correlation, and in some cases the weaker correlation. If you see the another signal, that is yt, the amplitude of yt at t1 and t2, then you see one is a very stronger correlation, another one is a weaker correlation. So both are signal varying with the time, but the correlation in between two state t1 and t1 plus, tau represent here a delay, some amount of delay you are giving. So amplitude at t1 and amplitude at t1 plus tau. So this relation is called correlation between two random variables. All are basically random variable because it is not a sinusoidal fixed type of signal that every amplitude point it is known to you. It is not a deterministic signal. Normally the noise, the variation of temperature, any example you can take, but the nature is random in nature. But the difference between two random signal xt and yt are, one is slow variation, another one is a fast variation. So if a signal is slowly varying signal, another one is a fast varying signal. So from that, if a slow varying signal, then its correlation is much more stronger compared to a fast varying signal. In a rough sense, if you see, if I am telling more fast, then correlation between you and me is little bit lower. If I am telling slow, then correlation with you much more stronger. And this information exchange in between you and me is going on. Obviously, my signal amplitude is randomly varying. But if I am slow with respect to time, then the much more correlation in between us. And I admit, and you all admit this thing. Are you agree with this statement?
Yes, sir.
So this physical phenomena, as you see, that obviously it relates with the normal signal system because it is also a signal. I am telling you some information. So obviously a signal will generate and you are receiving that signal. So obviously there must have some correlation between us. So from this variation, everyone agree with me now that the relation in between two signal, that the same signal x of t with respect to its delayed, the correlation function can be estimated. If we are telling the relation between xt and yt, then it is called cross correlation. And if I am telling xt and x of t plus tau, then it is called autocorrelation function. Rx tau represent normally the autocorrelation function. Most of the book, capital R represent autocorrelation function. Okay, and it is a very well known in the signal system and communication, and some spectral information can automatically come out from the autocorrelation function. So it is a very popular type of function in signal system. So you know the basic definition first and how you calculate the autocorrelation function. We will discuss time to time. Another thing, this correlation is basically the measure of two random variables. Okay, the correlation of two signal measure of two different or similarly varying two different random variables, as already you see. So this amplitude variation, obviously with respect to time, that a random variable say x of t1 and x of t2, both are random variable, and this random variable represent here capital x1 and capital x2 to represent here the random variable at time instant t1 and t2. Okay, and this is a real random process. Which one? The real random process. The basically this is called autocorrelation of a random process of two random variables x1 and y1. So you can write it in that fashion. Say capital Rx t1 comma t2, which is the mean value of x of t1 and x of t2, the multiplication of two random variables of two signal, and the averaging or mean of that value. Okay, that represent the autocorrelation function of a signal. But here, please keep in mind this autocorrelation function of a x signal means obviously it's a random variable of two state, but a single signal, not a different type of signal you are taking. A single input signal xt. Its two time phase, one is x of t1, another one is x of t2. These two represent two random variable of a single signal. Okay, and a process, real random process, because there is another complex random process. This is not included at this stage in our syllabus. So you focus only the real random process, and the real random process of the correlation function are defined as the random variables x1 and x2 and the averaging between these two. So this is a very useful formula. So you please highlight this type of formula. This one, that mean xt of a random process. This is the first order probability density function, that x of probability of that over the integration minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay. Another formula that is here. This is a autocorrelation function of two different state of a single signal, right? And that can be written like, if you see the earlier one, if you see this one, if you take that formula, this one, then you can write it, the average of this function, like x1 and x2 probability of this function over the whole integration. One very important statement here, the information about a frequency domain. In fact, the probability density function of a signal is basically the Fourier transform of its autocorrelation function. If you take the autocorrelation function, and if Fourier transform is covered, then you can better understand that Fourier transform of its autocorrelation function is basically it's a very important parameter of a signal, the Fourier transform, that frequency domain information of autocorrelation function. So later I will discuss after completing the Fourier transform. Okay. At this stage, you only write the basic definition that Fourier transform is a mathematical tool or transform technique by which a time domain xt, time domain information convert to frequency domain x of omega, right? Up to this, we are discussing only time domain information, deterministic or random, whatever the signal, but we are in the time domain information of a signal. So this definition, that autocorrelation function of a signal of random variable, that can be written like x1 and x2. These two are the two signal at two time instant, t1 and t2, and then the probability of that signal over the integration, that is called autocorrelation function of two random variable of a signal. Now, this is obviously a definition, autocorrelation function or the cross correlation, or how you know about the signal behavior. But random process of a signal, that already I mentioned, based on the time, there would be several types of random process. Maybe it's a stationary, non-stationary, or a slow or weak stationary, or different type of random process are there. So classification of random process is one of the important criteria, and that you should know about the random variables, that the nature is either fully stationary or fully non-stationary or a weakly stationary. That type of information is very important, because from the idea that the characteristics of a noise, a change of temperature of a whole day, that the physical phenomena or a system dependent phenomena, because in some cases system will generate noise, in some cases environment will generate noise. So many things are there. So all are random process, but all random process are not a very similar type of things. Maybe they would depends on temperature, or might be it is a function of temperature of a day, or maybe it will change with respect to day by day. So many parameters are there. So based on this parameter, random process are classified into multiple categories. The first thing is a fully stationary random process. So, whose statistical characteristics do not change with time. The definition tells us a particular random process whose characteristics doesn't change with time is known as a completely stationary random process. But in our reality, a complete stationary process cannot always be uh, estimated or cannot always be uh, synthesized. So most of the signal are in different class. But you should know about the definition of a complete stationary random process. I repeat, a random process whose statistical characteristics do not change with time. That means with respect to time, its statistical characteristics is fixed. So then it is a fixed or stationary random process. So a shift of time origin will be impossible to detect in that case. If you change a shift, then it is not determined. So it is the behavior of the complete stationary random process. So if you take a probability of a random variable, say x, so here it is a probability of xt1, and if you take a shift with respect to the origin by say t0, then the new time frame will be t1 plus t0, the earlier one only t1. So the time frame if shift, then at t1 and t2, and t2 is at t1 plus t0. So in that case, the random variable will tells us two different probability. One is probability of xt1 and another one is the probability of xt2. And that is, if identical, then it is called a complete stationary random process. As you know that linear time invariant definition, time invariant, that means if you change a or variation if you give, then it will not reflect. Then it is a time invariant signal. You all agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, here you see the stationary random process suggests us that if you give some delay, say t naught or shift you provide, then obviously there would be another time frame, that is t2. So t1 and t2, this is a two time frame. One is a new time frame, another one is the old time frame. Based on this, the probability calculations are there. So probability of xt1 and probability of xt2, if identical, then it's a completely stationary random process. This is the definition of a stationary random process. So there would be some non-stationary random process, weakly stationary random process, or several things are there. So in that case, the probability of x of t, that is not a function of time and not a change of time, so it can also be written a probability of that random variable only x. So in that case, if you see, there would be two time dependent function t1 and t2. then obviously you can write an autocorrelation function capital Rx of that random variable, and then this random variable within the two time frame T1 and T2. I repeat, T2 means a time delayed with respect to T1. That means T1 plus T0. So in that case, the random process, the correlation of the random process R of T1 and T2 can be written like the difference between these time, and that difference can be written tau. Tau is the difference between these, because you can write in that case autocorrelation function of tau, that is the averaging or mean of the random variables xt and xt plus tau. So finally what happens? So autocorrelation function of a stationary process can be written like the difference, autocorrelation function of difference of that time. So in that case, two single random variables xt and its another time value x of t plus tau. If you take these two value and take the average, then autocorrelation function can be easily calculated. And as you know from the definition that the autocorrelation function is a single signal and the relation between the signal and its delayed time information. Now a very relevant example here suggests that one is already many times I mentioned that variation of a temperature of a city, a particular region or a city or a time zone or a particular space zone, the temperature if vary with the time, then obviously it's a non-stationary random process. It is not a stationary random process, because temperature statistics, the mean value and other value, depends on the time of the day. Because if you see the morning temperature, evening temperature, and night temperature are different, completely different of a particular city, and it is a random variable. The whole process is a random process. It is not a stationary, a completely stationary random. Its mean value So in that case, it's a stationary random process. So two example, one is a completely stationary random variables based process, that is a completely stationary random process. Another one is a non-stationary random process. One is example of variation of temperature of a city. Another is a noise which is generated from a device or maybe environment. Both are statistical, but in spite of statistical information, there is some variation, and that variation everybody admit with me, right? Or do you have any doubt or any question? So there are two examples. One is completely stationary, another one is a non-stationary random process. Now another type of thing, that a completely compared to the completely stationary random process, a slightly weaker stationary random process, that is called weakly stationary random process, or in some case it is called wide sense stationary random process. A little bit weaker. So a process which is not a completely stationary, that is called weakly stationary process. In that case, the mean value of that autocorrelation, that means mean value at the same time autocorrelation function, obviously the with respect to time it is independent, or shift of the time origin. So x t bar, which is represent here mean value, that is a constant, and autocorrelation function, which is independent of the shift. That is a weaker or weakly stationary random process. It can be written like that: autocorrelation function of t1 and t2, the two time variation, and the gap between t1 and t2 is represented here tau. So it can be directly right. You can write autocorrelation of the gap between two times. So that is called wide sense or weakly stationary random process. So up to this, you can see three type of things. One is completely stationary, one is weakly stationary, and one is non-stationary. All are random variables based random process. So another well-known example of Gaussian random process is a little bit different type of random variable based random process, and its nature will be completely different. Now, a very common example in our day to life, regular life, we are dealing with a sinusoidal signal, and uh, this is actually system will generate a random variable. But in real life, if you generate a signal, even with the system, sinusoidal signal, but after time gap, its amplitude will decay. Its frequency may or may not change. So many things are there with respect to signal variation. So that may be a non-stationary type of signal. So the thing is that, which is our intention, if a system is non-stationary type of random process, then it is completely difficult to synthesize. If a system is not stationary completely or weakly stationary, then it would be easier for us to tackle the signal. Because if we are getting information with respect to a finite range of information, then it would be very easier for us to tackle with the signal. Because a stationary process can start from minus infinity to plus infinity. Whole range it would vary. Many processes would vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. So if we are synthesize this infinite range to finite range, then it would be easier for us to give a manageable mathematical model. That means we can manage that information. Because at this discussion, everybody, you agree with me that if a signal is a random variable and if a signal is a deterministic signal, so deterministic signal is much more easier compared to random signal. That means how you tackle with the signal, how you apply different mathematical formulation, or how you get the information of a signal is much more manageable if a signal is a deterministic. If it is a random variable or random process, then obviously it's a comparatively difficult task. But we have to do, because in our daily life, if we are dealing with the signal system, communication, or any kind of electronic system, the several things are random in nature. So we have to deal with them. Here, one example, if you see a random process, first of all, from this information that a cos or a sine omega t plus theta, can anybody tell me that this is a signal, and if from this relation the signal is deterministic or not, signal is random or not, a signal is completely stationary random or weakly stationary random, or what? Can anybody suggest me from the basic relation x of t, that is a cos omega t plus theta? Anyone can tell me that what suggest is from a sinusoidal signal? Student, please respond.
So it will vary like a sinusoidal wave.
So it is
Like,
deterministic.
whenever we
Because so many classes are there in your normal signal system and few classes in random. And already I already had taken a few class over the signal system, the deterministic type. From the basic information that everybody know about that thing, that if a signal amplitude is known to you at different time instant and it is a fixed, then your signal is deterministic signal. And so many examples are there. Anyone can tell me few example of a deterministic signal?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Deterministic signal.
Several signals are there. You tell me. A continuous
So
signal or
x by sine omega
discrete
t.
signal, you can give example. Roll number 6. Roll number 06. Are you there? Roll number 47.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me few example of deterministic signal?
Yes, sir.
Tell me.
Sir,
So many signals in our signal simulation lab, in our theory class, several times we discuss
sir, contin
anything,
So
continuous
ramp
or
signal.
discrete, anything. And
sir,
just
like the
signal
previous
name of the
example you showed, along with that, sir, sine, sinusoidal, cosine, sir, all of them.
sinusoidal is a common example. Apart from sinusoidal, and you tell me the few name, only the name.
Sir, ramp.
Ramp signal, right? Any other? Roll number 73. Are you in the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Tell me examples.
Sir, unit step function or expansion, exponential
Not function. You tell me unit step signal. Yes.
unit step signal.
Then u of t or u of n. Every time you know about the amplitude, right?
Yes, sir. U of t.
So it's a deterministic signal. It's not a random signal, right?
Yes, sir.
Any other? So ramp signal, sinusoidal signal, unit step signal,
Sir, exponential.
exponential. Obviously, it's exponential signal. It will obey exponential function. at every time, but it's a deterministic. Delta t or delta n. Okay, sampling signal, which is required to sample the any kind of signal. I already discussed in our lab, right? Del of t or del of n. That means at t equals to 0, signal amplitude is 1. Apart from that, tell me, del of t or del of n, already you know, na?
Yes, sir.
So del of t is 1 at t equals to 0. And the other
Yes.
value of t, del of n or del of t is
0.
0, right?
0.
So it's a sampling signal. It is required to sample the signal. So many signals are there. Okay? But noise, the variation of temperature or biological input, some response from the human body. If you know about the ECG curve, these type of or pressure fluctuation of a human body, that type of things are also a signal, because from the definition of signal you know the representation of a variation of a amplitude with respect to time or frequency, that is a signal. If you represent it, it will vary or not, maybe a constant type of things are there, it is also a signal. But if the variation are not fixed, it's a randomly vary, then it is a random variable, a random signal. A noise, a temperature variation, a signal coming from the human body, an electromagnetic signal, a mobile signal. According to different location, the signal variations are there, and it is not a deterministic, it's a random. In wireless communication, so many things are random in nature, but we have to model it, we have to measure it, and we have to synthesize it. If not, then you cannot estimate the wireless communication. So in communication and signal system, for this reason, the random variable and random process is so important. You cannot deal only with the deterministic type of signal. Automatically generated, most of the things are random in nature. If a device you generate a sinusoidal signal, a ramp signal, obviously signal source are there in our lab that will generate sinusoidal signal, a ramp signal, a unit step signal, that may generate. It is a determinant. But if a system will generate, if you are going to measure a biological information of human body, that is not a deterministic type signal. It's a random. But you have to deal with that. As a communication engineer, you have to deal with that. So you should know about the random characteristics of the signal. So here one example, it's a very interesting example, that x of t, that is a cos omega t plus theta. Three parameters, capital A represent amplitude, omega represent frequency, and theta represent phase. This theta is slightly different style it is represent here, because they are claiming that capital A is a amplitude variation and it's a constant. Its maximum value is 1 and minimum value is -1. So in between +1 and -1 it will vary. Time. Over a complete cycle, time is varying. So from 0 to 2 pi, within that range it will vary. But this theta here, this distribution is considered a random variable. That means phase of this function is not a fixed one. It is given to you. So a cos omega t plus theta. So frequency is fixed, amplitude is fixed, but phase is not a fixed here. In that case, you have to calculate the I repeat once again that here only the theta, the phase is random in nature. The other parameter, amplitude A and frequency are not random. Only the phase is random. So phase is any value that can be taken within 0 to 2 pi. Okay. So within the range 0 to 2 pi, any value can take. The phase will differ. So you can see here, phase wise, there will be 4 variations, but amplitude is same and frequency is same. Frequency same means no, the consecutive signal are in same rhythm. You follow that thing. That means frequency is fixed among all signals. And amplitude fixed means not a fixed for a signal. The amplitude and frequency are same for these 4 signals. The phase are not. Many phase can be taken. Many phase. Infinite number of phase can be taken. Are you agree with me? Within the range 0 to 2 pi, any phase distribution can be taken. That is a random here. But other omega and A, the frequency and amplitude are not random. It's a deterministic. Same thing. So what should we do in that particular case? We are getting to calculate the mean of the signal x of t. The mean calculations are there. So you know about the mean of the signal calculation. Any signal, whenever you are going to calculate the mean, you should know either the fixed part or the random. Here omega signal is fixed and this theta is a random variable. So whole omega t plus theta is a function of a random variable. And that I already discussed in our earlier chapter 8.6. Okay. So if you see the equation number 8.61, then you find that already I discussed this thing. You know that this one, mean calculation of a random variable. I think you know the mean calculation. The probability of that function and that g of x, that is a function. Already I discussed. So this is the mean of that signal of a random variable. So if you see here, if you use that thing, so then you find from 0 to 2 pi cos of omega t plus theta multiplied with the probability based on the phase. So there would be 2 parts. One is a signal cos of omega t plus theta So over a complete cycle 0 to 2 pi, you can easily calculate this signal variation. Everybody can calculate from 0 to 2 pi the integration of cos omega t plus theta into d theta.
Yes, sir.
Yes, because you know the upper and lower limit 2 pi and 0, and cos function integration, you know the sign of that part, and both the cases its value it is known to you, and the whole range if you integrate it would be 0. The complete things. So mean of that signal is 0, because mean is basically the calculation of this. The mean is 0 of that signal. So at any instant t, the mean calculation of the signal is 0. Now the another thing that I already discussed, the autocorrelation calculation. Autocorrelation means what? The signal, this is a signal a cos omega t plus theta. So for a time x of t1 and x of t2, you should represent two signal function, cos of omega t1 plus theta and cos of omega t2 plus theta. Amplitude is same, so a and a square, and omega c, the frequency is same. So both are two stage of signal where theta, omega and a. Theta is a random variable, omega and a is a deterministic variable, but all are not changing. T1 and T2 only there is a change. So you can write it in that manner, the autocorrelation function, that means the product of these two, the average of product of these two with respect to two different time instant. So you can write it in this way, cos c into cos d, all you know, the cos of c plus d plus cos of c minus d. Everybody you know the multiplication form to additive form.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in that case, you take cos c minus cos d, like cos c into cos d, c minus d, and c plus d. One interesting phenomena here you notice, if you take the difference, then automatically the random variables will vanish. The first part. Second part, there is a random variables. The first part, there are no random variable present. So this is a deterministic part, and that is the random part, variable part. So two term, if the multiplied signal can be written in additive form, then the first additive part, the signal is completely a deterministic, not a random variable based. So if you take this advantage, then you see the autocorrelation function of these things. You can calculate the mean of these two. So from the mean definition, you see the integration from 0 to 2 pi, the whole functions. So first of all, you integrate this one and you integrate this one separately. You see the more important issue here, the cos of omega t plus theta, if you integrate it from 0 to 2 pi, the complete integration, then you can get 0 as similar to that. Already it is discussed here. So mean of that value is 0, this part. But here there are two terms, the first term and the second term. The first term is not a phase dependent, the second term there is a phase dependent, and the phase is random variables. But here no random variable presence. So if you your intention, don't forget that it is your intention here that to calculate autocorrelation function, the product of these two signal and averaging. That is called the autocorrelation function. So in that case, you write here the autocorrelation of this one, only that signal. So mean of this signal you calculate by using the integration, and it is 0 if the phase is present. But here the first term, which contains only cos of omega c t2 minus t1. So this can be written, and t2 minus t1 is basically the time delay in between two states. It can be written omega c tau. So finally, r of x of tau, that is a square by 2 cos of omega c tau. So from this mathematical idea, now you can tell me that this process is either completely stationary or non-completely stationary or a weakly, because there is a two part. One is a completely stationary, another one is a completely non-stationary. So as a whole, the signal is wide sense stationary process, that weakly stationary process. The half of the signal is depends on this theta random variables, and the other one is not. So it is a weakly or weaker level of stationary process. And normally and in general, this type of wide sense stationary process based signal are much more available compared to a completely stationary process or completely non-stationary process. So
So
from
it
this
is
mathematical, yes, any question?
so due to the one part not being stationary, another part being stationary. That is why it's wide sense.
Yes, because if the full signal is completely zero, suppose that is a theta dependent, that means phase dependent, or it is a totally deterministic, or it is a totally non-deterministic, then it is a class. But here, if you distribute the signal and your autocorrelation tells us that the signal is, say, half of the signal part depends on the random variables and half of the signal part doesn't depends on random variables. So in that case, you can tell that the signal is a class of weakly stationary process, that wide sense stationary process. Wide sense means it's a large level of wide sense, not a fixed level of things there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
And there is another class of wide sense stationary. There is another class. That is the ergodic wide sense stationary process. This is a completely a different things. Uh, it's a obviously it's a wide sense stationary process, but earlier one is a weakly stationary, and it's another class. I will discuss it later. But the thing is that there are three things completely you can see from the chart. This one is stationary, another one is a non-stationary, and another one is a wide sense stationary. And in wide sense stationary, a ergodic stationary is a subclass of wide sense stationary. So if you deal with a large number of sample functions, then different types of stationary process are going on. And if you're dealing with a signal system or signal processing, the analog signal processing or digital signal processing, or what any form of signal processing, then so many things are there: noise, signal, some reflected signal, some deterministic signal, some random signal, not completely deterministic, not completely stationary. So many things are there. So for this reason, the classification of random process are very, very important. Okay, just 1 minute. Hello. ঠিক আছে আমি করে দিচ্ছি, আমি একটু ক্লাসে আছি। So you read this part. Okay, so the next day we'll discuss the other issues related to that, and this is your actually the syllabus of so I am continuing the random variables, random vectors, random process, classification, characterization, these things. So, and cross correlation and power spectral density. Obviously, the other thing is that thermal and short noise and different type of random signal and some examples. And so my target is to complete from this to that before the mid semester, and after mid semester I will start signal response to random signals and function of random signal and the design of filter. Okay, and Fourier transform, I don't know whether it is complete. It will be complete by Ankita ma'am, I think. If not, then I will tell you the Fourier transform. So the after the mid semester, my target is to complete these two things. Okay, so one is filter design, another one is a response to random signal. So in mid semester, I think this 3 module is complete, na? 4 module.
Yes, sir.
LTI system, linearity, causality, stability, impulse response, convolution, everything is complete, right?
Sir, in the
Convolution is
mid semester, do we have to submit 2 different PDFs for you part and Ankita ma'am part, or one single PDF will do?
No. Mid semester, the question will be a single question. But in the end semester, the say section A and section B.
Sir, in
Okay,
number
sir.
4, signal distortion has
But
not been
but the question, suppose the mid semester is 30 marks, right? And end semester is 50 marks. So section wise, obviously there is a difference. Say section A, suppose 2 questions are there from Ankita ma'am, and maybe 2 questions from my part. So you have to answer, say, 1 question from like that. It may be, but it is not decided yet. Okay, maybe today or tomorrow we'll discuss, and then only we can finalize the mid semester. But in the semester, it is obviously there would be separate section A and section B, and 25 marks from section A and 25 marks from section B. Okay,
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes, anybody
So in number 4, I don't think distortion has been done.
So that is a different story, because I don't know, but maybe it is up to say convolution. So in mid semester, from signal system to convolutions are there, and from my part, say random variables to the thermal and short noise, up to this. So signal distortion, transmission, distortionless transmission, and Fourier series, Fourier transform, that part after mid semester from Ankita ma'am. And from my part, filter design and the response to random signal, that is okay. I think more than 50% syllabus is covered, right?
Yes, sir.
The rest of the 40% syllabus will be covered after mid semester, because your final semester exam, I think it is from say 3rd week of December, right?
So we don't know.
Okay, so from 18th to 15th November, your mid semester will be complete. So 1 month will be there. The gap between end semester and the mid semester. So within the 1 month, actually, we are getting say 10 classes, 8 to 10 classes we will get. So I'll take 4 classes or 5 classes, and Ankita ma'am will take 4 to 5 classes. Okay. So rest of the signal distortion and Fourier transform will be covered by Ankita ma'am, and random signal response and filter design will be completed by me. Okay. If required, then we will take extra 1 or 2 classes. So
Okay, sir.
Tuesday I will take a class test. The syllabus is random variables to up to these 2 modules. Okay, module 6 and 7. It's a very straightforward. You follow this book and read very carefully, and the given problem, you please solve it in your own effort. If any problem, we'll discuss Friday the different issues. Friday I will discuss thermal and short noise. In addition to that, any doubt from your side, I will discuss. Okay. So module 6 and 7 will be your mid-semester syllabus from my part. Clear?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So now I just want to take your attendance. Please respond. From roll number 1 to 10. Roll number 1, 2, 3, 4. Like you just tell me.
Roll
from
number 4.
Roll number
Roll
4.
number
9, sir.
Sir, roll number
Sir, roll
1.
number 2.
1, 2, 4, 9.
10.
Sir, roll number 5.
One,
roll number 7.
okay.
Sir, roll number 5.
1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. Anyone?
Number 8. The 10 also.
10. Okay. Roll number 8. Yes.
Sir, 6. Roll number 6.
6. 11 to 20.
So roll number 12.
13.
Yes.
13.
13.
Sir, 20.
20.
Sir, 17.
17. 16. Anyone? Twelve, 13, 16, 17, 20. 21 to 30.
Sir, 22.
22.
25.
24.
29, sir.
27,
sir.
Sir, 30.
22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30.
28.
28.
Sir, 21.
21. Okay. 31 to 40.
Sir, 31.
Sir, 32.
Sir, 37.
39.
37.